on Y News. The Department of Justice orders probe into alleged corruption in the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office. The Philippine National Police expresses concern on the potential proliferation of illegal numbers game after President Rodrigo Duterte's directive to close gaming outlets under the PCSO. The Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office assures beneficiaries of its medical assistance will continue despite the gaming ban. And South Korean Mud Festival offers respite from heat as well as effective skincare. Good evening. The Department of Justice today orders the National Bureau of Investigation to probe on the alleged corruption in the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office or PCSO. April Senadoza tells us more.
As President Rodrigo Duterte canceled the PCSO's gaming operations last Saturday due to alleged massive corruption in the agency, Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara's order to investigate the practices in the PCSO is considered as a chance for the agency to clear its image. Guevara says that through the probe, the PCSO and its licensees may come forward and show that there's no such corruption or fraud involved in their operations. He adds the president has the authority to cancel the gaming schemes of PCSO while the investigation is ongoing. In accordance with the president's announcement, Manila City Mayor Isko Moreno has ordered the withdrawal of business licenses and mayor's permits for all lotto, small lottery, and other gaming activities of the PCSO in the city.
Ang kautosang ito ng inyong lingkod ay mananatili habang umiiral ang bagong national policy ng ating Pangulo regarding sa operasyon ng PCSO.
Attorney Paul Vega, the OIC of Manila City's Business License Office, has been directed to submit a report of compliance within 3 days. The Manila City government will also withdraw the permits of the so-called online sabong if proved that such operation has no franchise from the PAGCOR. April Senadoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Senator Sherwin Gatchalian proposes to privatize the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office or PCSO to prevent corruption. He explains that with privatization, government officials can be barred from intervening with PCSO operations. Nel Maribuhok explains why.
As President Rodrigo Duterte ordered the shutdown of all gaming activities under the PCSO, some senators say they are in favor of this.
May wisdom sa Presidente, bakit gusto niyang linisin.
Meron namang possibility na babalik po yung operations. Wala lang pong graft and corruption.
Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, on his part, proposes to privatize PCSO operations. He recommends that remittances must be directly given to the Department of Social Welfare and Development for indigent assistance.
So ibig sabihin, mangolekta na lang ang DOF ng kung ano yung babayaran nitong private companies at lahat na nakolekta ibigay sa DSWD.
On the other hand, for Senator Joel Villanueva, the government should also look into the welfare of affected workers.
It's either we profile them right away or we give them alternative jobs.
Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
The Philippine National Police warns on the possible resurgence of the illegal numbers game, wetting, after the closure of small-town lottery. Lea Ilagan explains us why.
Despite the closure order on all gaming activities of the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office or PCSO, Philippine National Police Chief Police General Oscar Albayalde reveals he has received intelligence reports that illegal gambling continues in 1 or 2 provinces in Central Luzon.
Sinara yung outlet pero hindi tumigil yung activity. Ibig sabihin there's illegal gambling going on.
General Albayalde adds he has directed all his regional directors to eliminate all illegal numbers game. The PNP chief also admits that the PNP Health Service is also affected by the closure of PCSO gaming outlets.
Basically sa health services pumupunta yung suporta na nanggagaling sa PCSO. In a way, yes.
in a way, yes, maapektuhan yung...
The PNP report, they have closed down a total of over 30,000 lotto and small town lottery or STL outlets and other betting areas licensed by the PCSO in compliance with President Rodrigo Duterte's directive. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Krame.
The Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, or PCSO, assures the agency's charity work will continue as its funds have already been programmed since last year. Harleen Delgado reports why.
Gloria Morelia has been diagnosed with stage 3B breast cancer. This morning, she went to the PCSO office inside the Lung Center of the Philippines to apply for a guarantee letter. She expects this to cover a huge chunk of her expenses for her monthly maintenance worth 42,000 pesos. She admits she is worried after learning the PCSO gaming operations have been suspended.
Kaya kami na andito humingi ng tulong. Nabahala talaga kami kung wala din ng PCSO. Sana namin kukunin yung...
But PCSO General Manager Royina Garma explains the revenues collected from January to July this year may be used until next year should the recent stoppage on gaming operations continue.
This year is not a problem actually. We can still sustain up to December 31 because there's already a fund for that.
Based on the latest data from the PCSO, a total of 2.8 billion pesos were given to 248,000 beneficiaries from January to July of this year. However, Garma adds an estimated 30 to 50 million pesos of revenues will be lost per day from lotto operations alone. The PCSO chief also assures that the winners can still claim their prizes. On the other hand, the PCSO admits many of their agents' employees will lose their jobs.
Yan po yung ginagawang appeal ng mga agents to us to at least consider daw yung mga employees nila. Titingnan din po natin. Yeah.
In the PCSO's unofficial tally, over 120,000 employees of gaming agents and workers in more than 9,000 lotto outlets and other PCSO gaming schemes will go jobless. The Department of Labor and Employment say they will provide assistance and emergency employment to affected workers.
Ang gagawin po nila, mag-apply po sila sa SSS, pero bago po sila mag-apply sa SSS, kukuha po sila ng certification sa DOL. Certification na sila ay natanggal by reason of involuntary termination. 2 buwan po yun na may financial assistance coming from SSS. But we are working in coordination with the SSS.
Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue, Mandaluyong City.
A South Korean coastal city got down and dirty as people from all over the country gathered for the annual Mud Festival. Amiel Pascual will tell us why.
Thousands of tourists flocked the last day of the Boryong Mud Festival held in Boryong, South Chungcheong Province, South Korea. The annual 10-day event held in the city, around 200 kilometers south of Seoul, is considered as one of the largest summer events in the world.
This is our second time here at the festival. We came last year, but it was really hot. This time it's been a really great pleasure for us to come. We love the people, we love the food, we love the culture. So this festival has been a really awesome opportunity for us and for our kids because they love playing here as well.
It's such a beautiful place by the sea and there's lots of fun things to do.
Mud flats are popular in Boryong, which can be found on its coastline. These types of mud is known to have anti-skin aging agent and is rich in different types of minerals.
The mud contains elements good for skin and especially for moisturizing. This festival is not the one that people are forced to come, but they look forward to coming by themselves. People can bring back happiness to their homes from the festival.
Aside from playing in the mud, tourists enjoyed other activities, including mud run, mud slide, and mud wrestling. Some popular K-pop artists also performed in a concert held during the festival. The first Boryong Mud Festival was held in 1998. It aims to promote the natural resources in the coastal city. Amiel Pascual, UNTV News and Rescue.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to iNews. We pick up to where Alex Baltazar left off. I am William Theo, and here are the headlines. Officials in Itbayat, Batanes call for assistance for affected residents in evacuation areas following the two strong earthquakes. President Rodrigo Duterte commits to provide 40 million pesos to build a new health facility in Batanes. The Department of the Interior and Local Government begins today the imposition of the 60-day deadline for Metro Manila mayors to clear roads of obstructions. Angat Dam may reach normal water level by September according to Pag-asa. And Cebuano acts perform their own singles as the Wish Bus returns to Cebu. Good evening. 9 persons died, 63 were injured, and 1 is reported missing after twin quakes hit Batanes on Saturday. Less than 3,000 residents are affected by the calamity in 5 barangays in Itbayat, the most hit area. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Magnitude 5.4 and 5.9 earthquakes rocked Batanes Province on July 27. National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or NDRRMC Executive Director Ricardo Halad has recommended to the local government to declare a state of calamity to provide immediate assistance to the affected residents. President Rodrigo Duterte, on his part, visited the quake-hit areas to personally check on the extent of damages in the province. He also conducted an aerial inspection over Itbayat and met with some cabinet members and local officials of Batanes. The chief executive promised to provide financial assistance for the reconstruction of a provincial hospital in Batanes. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Following the 2 strong earthquakes that hit Batanes Province, affected residents remain in evacuation areas. Batanes Representative Ciriaco Gato calls for help for the earthquake victims. Here's Grace Casin to tell us why.
Earthquake-stricken residents in Itbayat, Batanes use pieces of cloth and small tents as shelter while staying at the plaza, which has been designated for their evacuation. They are in need of water, food, tents, mats, and portalets, according to Batanes Representative Ciriaco Gato.
Hindi pa lahat ng mga tao ay nabigyan ng tent. Kailangan pa rin namin ng higaan, lalo na yung banig na plastic, hindi yung ordinaryong banig na natatagusan ng tubig kasi umuulan din eh.
The lawmaker says the municipality continues to experience aftershock. Power supply is not yet completely restored.
Yung water namin sa Itbayat ay dependent sa pump, dependent sa kuryente. Sa ngayon, na-restore na yung power pero kunti pa lang ang binigyan lang yung power line sa hospitals and munisipyo lang.
The 5.4 and 5.9 magnitude earthquakes on Saturday morning shook 900 houses. Congressman Gato says their engineers are now in the affected areas to check whether the structures are still safe to use.
Karamihan ng mga nasira ay yung mga traditional na mga bahay. Yung traditional namin ng mga bahay, yung mga 50, yung iba dyan, mga 70, almost 100 years na yung mga ibang bahay, yun po ay mga ginagawa yan na limestone lang at saka bato. Walang mga bakal yun.
Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
Meanwhile, during President Rodrigo Duterte's visit to Batanes Province, he also ordered the Philippine Coast Guard to conduct patrols around the Batanes Islands. He said this is to assert our rights in the seas. The president added that all workers in the government are supposed to preserve the Republic of the Philippines. Metro Manila mayors have 60 days beginning today to clear their roads of obstructions. A local chief executive who fails to comply with President Rodrigo Duterte's directive may face two-month preventive suspension. Joe Anano clarifies why.
The Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, has released a memorandum that orders the 17 Metro Manila mayors to intensify the clearing operations in their localities. The mayors vow to take the necessary steps to support President Rodrigo Duterte's objective.
Kinakausap po natin yung mga ibang commercial center na i-accommodate kasi may mga bakante naman pong commercial center sa loob po doon. Maipasok natin sila, yung mga vendor sa commercial center.
Gusto ko magbigay ng insentibo sa mga private lot owners na hindi naman nila ginagamit ang kanilang lugar, na baka pwede nilang gawing parking lots at mag-charge sila ng parking fees, no? O kaya pwede sila mag-joint venture sa city government, magpapagawa tayo ng multi-level parking.
For Manila City Mayor Isko Moreno finds the order a big help in eradicating the alleged protectors of those who violate the city government's order.
At least maliwanag na ngayon lahat para pagdating ng implementation, wala nang hunyango o wala nang mga makapili, di ba? Yung nagtuturo. Ito, pare-pareho nang gugulong ang ulo natin.
The National Capital Region Police Office will work with the mayors to implement the President's directive. The DILG will strictly monitor the performances of the local chief executives. The public may report local officials who are found negligent. The government vows to provide assistance to individuals who will lose their livelihood because of the clearing efforts.
Ang isang pagiging mahirap o kapuspalad ay isang dahilan para payagan kang lumabag ng batas. Kailangan mauna muna ang pagsunod ng batas. At yung mga maapektuhan, titingnan natin yung pwedeng maibigay ng assistance doon sa makakaya.
Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
In other news, oil companies will implement oil price adjustments starting this week. The adjustment is due to the price movement in the global market. Diesel prices will go up by 15 centavos per liter and kerosene by 10 centavos per liter. Meanwhile, there is a huge rollback in gasoline prices from 95 centavos to 1 pesos per liter. Phoenix Petroleum and Clean Fuel already implemented the said oil price adjustments on Monday. Other oil companies are set to implement the price adjustments on Tuesday. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, says it may take until September for the water level of Angat Dam to normalize. Ray Pelayo tells us why.
The water level of Angat Dam is increasing gradually. From yesterday's 162.40 meters, the water level in the dam this morning reached 163.34 meters. The National Water Resources Board say there will be no additional allocation for Metro Manila's water supply until the water in Angat Dam rises up to its 180-meter normal level. While PAGASA say that before summer starts next year, it has to be at the maximum level of 210 meters.
Siguro kung masyadong maulan, kailangan pa ng mga 4 hanggang 5 na bagyo para lang mapuno.
Almost all of Manila Water's customers receive round-the-clock water services due to the increase of La Mesa Dam's water level. As of 10 a.m. today, the water level in La Mesa Dam was 74.14 meters, or almost 6 meters before reaching its overflowing level of 80.15 meters. On the other hand, more than 80% of Maynilad's customers receive normal water supply. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
President Rodrigo Duterte appoints Gonzalo Duque as the new administrator of the Philippine Coconut Authority, or PCA. The appointment has been confirmed by presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo. Duque was a commissioner of the Social Security System. He served as Pangasinan Vice Governor from 1987 to 1992. Duque is the brother of Health Secretary Francisco Duque III. Recently, the two Duques have been questioned by Senator Panfilo Lacson over alleged conflict of interest after the two allowed the PhilHealth office in Pangasinan to rent a property that belongs to the Duque family. Meanwhile, Senator Panfilo Lacson reported today that more than 153 million pesos of Philippine Health Insurance Corporation's fund goes to overpayment and fraud in the state health insurance. The senator also presented evidence on the alleged conflict of interest of Health Secretary Francisco Duque III. Here's Nel Maribojoc to tell us why.
Senator Panfilo Lacson, in his privileged speech today, presented the 2014 Commission on Audit report. The report shows PhilHealth's 102.5 billion pesos worth of overpayment that year. One of his examples is the pneumonia case in Bukidnon Provincial Hospital with actual expenses of 4,820 pesos but had been paid 15,000 pesos by PhilHealth. Another is the Bondok Peninsula District Hospital with actual expenses of only 200,397 pesos but paid by more than 5 million pesos. Senator Lacson also divulged that the controversial WellMed Dialysis Center is still in operation. The dialysis center faces complaints regarding ghost dialysis patients.
Mula Enero hanggang Hunyo 2019, ang kabuuang reimbursements ng WellMed ay pumalo pa rin sa 4.24 million pesos. Noong nakarambuan lamang, kumita pa rin ang WellMed ng 1,224,600 pesos mula sa PhilHealth. Ang saya-saya nila, Mr. President.
Senator Lacson also presented evidence on the alleged conflict of interest of Health Secretary Francisco Duque III with the state insurance. The issue is in relation to the leased contracts that PhilHealth entered into with the Educational and Medical Development Corporation or EMDC, owned by Gonzalo Duque, the Health Secretary's brother. In particular is the PhilHealth Region 1 office in Dagupan City, which the EMDC owns.
Ang gusto ba nilang sabihin, utang na loob pa ba natin sa pamilya nila na hanggang Disyembre 2019 na lamang magbabayad ang PhilHealth sa EMDC? Kaya naman hanggang sa mga sandaling ito, Mr. President, nagaganap pa rin ang conflict of interest. Pakisagot nga, attorney.
The senator has referred the issues to the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee and the Health Department for investigation. Nel Maribojoc, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
As the Visayas leg of the Wishcovery Season 3 on-ground editions conclude, the Wish Bus returns to Cebu for another roadshow where 3 local acts perform their own singles with Cebuano lyrics. Gladys Tawabi tells us why.
Awesome Cebuano bands graced the evening as the iconic Wish Bus rolled to Garden Row, Ayala Mall Central Block, Cebu IT Park on July 26 for the roadshow. One of them is Missing Philemon, composed of Lorenzo, Gumer, Eimer, and Ronald. They say the Wish Bus is an avenue to showcase original Pinoy music or OPM even in Cebu.
It's not every day that a local band like Cebuano band gets national exposure, so it's good.
While for Alvin, Jason, Jong, Marvin, and Boyette, who call themselves the AUS and the Sesh Boys, performing their own single on board the FM station on wheels is both exciting and nerve-wracking.
It's a privilege to be performing on the Wish Bus. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and in one's music career in Cebu.
And Ron, Sapsi, Kristen, and Ken, who completed the Akushla band, admire the mission and vision of Wish 1075.
With Wish, they're giving like local musicians like us the opportunity to sing their original compositions and share their music to everybody.
Also there to entertain the crowd were singing gems Nashrin Casas and Paul Christian, both from Camp Tap Suzara of the Wishcovery Season 2. For the Cebuanos, the musical experience that Wish 107.5 brings through the Wish Bus is a one-of-a-kind entertainment.
We're all thrilled to see the Wish 107 bus here in Cebu City. So it's a very exciting day for us all here.
Actually, happy kay Kostanan kay ang wish ni Ari. Wish is wish.
The second Wish 107.5 bus in the country will roll further south for the Mindanao leg of the Wish Covery Originals on-ground editions. August 6 to 8 in Cagayan de Oro City, August 11 to 13 in Butuan City, and August 19 to 21 in Davao City. Gladys Tuwabi, UNTV News and Rescue, Cebu.
Welcome back to Y News. The Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE, will issue their proposed anti-endo bill for a clearer and strengthened security of tenure next week. Aiko Miguel details why.
DOLE is reviewing the security of tenure bill version that was vetoed by President Rodrigo Duterte. The Labor Department aims to clarify the scope of regularization and the prohibition of the labor-only contracting of employees who work directly in companies.
So there has to be some siguro mga specific or parameters in determining this.
Senator Joel Villanueva meanwhile refiled today Senate Bill 806, or the Anti-Endo Bill, which aims to totally end contractualization in the country. This version has no difference from the bill certified as urgent by the President but was later on vetoed.
Kaya the same, because we wanted to find out from the President's men or the officials na nag-influence sa ating Pangulo na i-veto ito para i-pinpoint nila anong particular provision yung may problema sila.
According to Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III, they will consider the versions of both houses of Congress.
We will get all of their inputs from their own version, and then on the basis of this, we'll come up with a version that we think will serve the purpose of the workers and the businessmen.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Meanwhile, Dan Coates, the spy chief who has clashed with U.S. President Donald Trump over assessments involving Russia, Iran, and North Korea, plans to step down soon. Coates advised Trump last week that he planned to step down fairly soon as Director of National Intelligence. He offered the president some thoughts on who might succeed him. The New York Times, citing people familiar with the matter, reported the departure was expected in the coming days. Trump is seriously considering tapping U.S. Representative John Ratcliffe, a fellow Republican, to replace Coates. Ratcliffe, a member of the House of Representatives Intelligence and Judiciary Committees, strongly defended Trump on Wednesday during former Special Counsel Robert Mueller's testimony on his two-year investigation of Russian election activities. China's top office for handling Hong Kong affairs held a press conference in Beijing on Monday to express its stance and views on Hong Kong's current situation. It was the first time that the State Council's Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office held a press briefing on the city since it was established in 1997. Ferdy Petalio will tell us why.
Hong Kong residents in the business district of Sheung Wan woke up to piles of bricks, debris, and graffiti on Monday, the remnants of mass protests from the previous evening. On Sunday, hundreds of anti-government protesters were dispersed from the area by riot police as they attempted to reach the central government liaison office. Local businesses and authorities could be seen actively cleaning up the streets as commuters navigated their way through some of the leftover debris.
They didn't feel the area was safe because of the protests last night. So they delayed work by an hour so that they could make sure that the area was cleaned up and people could commute in.
I feel very sad about what's happening in Hong Kong now. The government doesn't listen to the people, and the police, the violence of the police is excessive and it's ridiculous for the Hong Kong people.
Meanwhile, China's top office for handling Hong Kong affairs held a press conference in Beijing on Monday to express its stance and views of Hong Kong's current situation. The office's spokesperson Yang Guang condemned the actions of anti-extradition law protesters over recent weeks, saying that they exceeded the boundaries of acceptable protest. After a recap of recent protest events, Yang made 3 suggestions. He called on all sectors of Hong Kong society to clearly oppose violence, strongly uphold the rule of law, and to move out of political gridlock to focus on development and livelihood issues instead. He also claimed that some people and media with ulterior motives took advantage of the public's lack of familiarity with China's legal system and led them to oppose the extradition bill proposed by the government. Hong Kong has seen weeks of mass demonstrations and arrests protesting against a controversial proposed law that would extradite suspects to the mainland. For Di Petalio, UNTV News and Rescue, Hong Kong.
Russia's most prominent opposition figure, Alexei Navalny, has been taken from jail to a hospital in Moscow after suffering from acute allergic reaction, which his spokeswoman said he had not experienced before. Meanwhile, at least 65 people are dead following a suspected attack by Boko Haram on a funeral gathering in northeastern Nigeria. Jovic Burmas will tell us why.
And in Russia, police on Sunday night detained at least 12 people, including journalists, who had gathered in front of the hospital where Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny was being treated. Navalny was hospitalized on Sunday after suffering an acute allergic reaction, which one doctor said may have been the result of him being poisoned with an unknown chemical substance. Navalny, 43, was rushed to hospital on Sunday morning from jail, where he is serving a 30-day sentence for violating tough protest laws, a day after police in Moscow detained over 1,000 people for an illegal demonstration which Navalny called for. Navalny, a lawyer and anti-corruption activist, has served several stints in jail in recent years for organizing anti-government demonstrations. Jovic Burmas, UNTV News and Rescue.
American runner Dalila Muhammad proved she reigns in the rain after breaking the world record in the 400-meter hurdles. Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
Reigning Olympic champion Dalila Muhammad sets the world record in the 400 meters hurdles at the U.S. National Championships in Des Moines, Iowa. On a drizzly Sunday, the 16-year-old ran a blistering 52.20 seconds in the rain, smashing the previous mark of 52.34 seconds set by Yulia Pechonkina on August 8, 2003. Muhammad said she is just shocked to have broken the world record and her previous best time, 52.64 in 2017. Under 20 record holder Sydney McLaughlin finished second in 52.88, just 0.13 shy of her personal best, with Ashley Spencer third in 53.11, equaling her best. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue.
The largest summertime hot air balloon and music festival in North America draws thousands of crowd with over 100 hot air balloons and pilots from 24 states. Abby Valdez will tell us why.
We are ready. We are just about to become airborne.
More than 100 hot air balloons will fill the summer sky for the 37th annual Quick Check New Jersey Festival of Ballooning from Friday through Sunday. The balloons get inflated and ascend each day at 6:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m.
My favorite time of the weekend is Saturday or Sunday morning ascensions. It's before it gets a little warm out here, it's before it's that crowded. And the amount of people out here is tremendous. And when you saw this morning the sun coming up over the Cushatunk Mountains, I mean, it was truly a spiritual experience.
It's a nice shot, isn't it?
Balloons in animal shapes, including a giant panda, a frog, and a cat, were fired up to float above the trees in Reddington Township, New Jersey. The three-day event, with more than 165,000 people expected to attend, has grown to be the largest summertime hot air balloon and music festival in North America. Abby Valdez, UNTV News and Rescue.
Dogs are considered as man's best friend. Our furry friends have proved this so many times. Watch dogs show their heroism and love for their owner as Mon Hokson reports.
A video has gone viral on social media after a dog saved the life of his owner's child from a poisonous cobra. Jaim's son was sleeping near the place where the cobra was lurking. A CCTV video footage from Jaim Bugtay Selim shows a Dutch hound attacking a snake that entered Jaim's house. But because of the snake's venom, Miley died almost instantaneously. But Miley's heroism was not in vain, as the snake also died on the spot. Jaim is thankful his child got saved. Another dog also reacted swiftly to save its owner from a snake bite. A snake suddenly appeared from nowhere and crawled towards the dog's owner. Good thing, the dog was vigilant to warn his owner immediately. Dogs save not only humans, but even their nemesis, the cats. Despite being scratched in the face, this dog still saved the drowning furball. Humans pay back these beloved pets. On another video, a dog is seen stranded in a creek. People try to rescue the dog by forming a human chain. The rescue effort was hard, but they succeed in helping the stranded dog. Elsewhere, a dog was fighting for its life after falling from a deep well. The dog was losing its strength after swimming for his life for hours. Rescue came and pulled the dog up to safety. Dogs are capable of loving their owners to the extent of risking their lives. Just like the saying goes, a dog is the only thing on earth that loves you more than you love yourself. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news this July 29, 2019. On behalf of Alex Baltazar, I am William Theo, and before we close, we will recap with today's significant sound bites. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
It's a possibility na pag-usbong ulit ng illegal numbers game, particularly yung weteng. In fact, we have intelligence information na meron isa o dalawang probinsya na ganun na rin ang ginawa, na hindi tumigil pero sinara yung outlet.
This year is not a problem actually. We can still sustain up to December 31 because there's already a fund for that.
Hindi pa lahat ng mga tao ay nabigyan ng tent. Kailangan pa rin namin ng higaan, lalo na yung banig na plastic, hindi yung ordinaryong banig na natatagusan ng tubig kasi umuulan din eh.
At least maliwanag na ngayon lahat para pagdating ng implementation, wala nang hunyango o wala nang mga makapili, di ba? Yung nagtuturo. Ito, pare-pareho nang gugulong ang ulo natin.
Kaya the same because we wanted to find out from the president's men or the officials na nag-influence sa ating Pangulo na i-veto ito para i-pinpoint nila anong particular provision yung may problema sila.